Captain Randall here, Landed Fishing TV. So one of the big questions is, how do I throw a spinning reel? I'm getting into fishing. I don't know how to throw a spinning reel. Where do I start? Well, today I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you a couple techniques that I use on a daily basis with my charters, with people that have never fished in their life before, to people who are experienced anglers with lures and bass, things like that, that just don't know how to throw a popping cork on a spinning rod. It's not an easy thing when you're transitioning over, but I'm going to show you a couple things that I use on a daily basis that allow people to catch on to it very quickly and have a lot of success and land more fish. Let me show you how. So let's go over some of the fundamentals of the reel. First of all, we got the bail arm, wraps around the top, which opens and releases the line. You have your drag, which is built on top, which if you loosen it, allows you to pull more line out. If you tighten it, puts more pound of dragage behind it. You have your handle, and that is about it on a spinning reel. Basically, you have three different fundamentals you're going to use. Now, the way I hold a reel is I split finger 2 and 2 on both sides. The reason why I do this, and I don't grab here, I don't grab here, you can go one finger, but going with one hand here or here, which I'm not going to grab here, I have a hook, the keeper's right here, allows the rod when a fish is on to twist. So when you try and turn the handle, your pressure is going to push it, it's going to turn over, it's going to twist the rod, which is going to make you lose the backbone of the rod to where you don't have that support. You always want to fight your fish facing your fish. So if you have it split fingered one way or the other, this back handle will hit your hand and allow you to keep it from twisting right or left. So when you crank the handle, you have control, full control over the rod. Okay? So one of the two, whatever's more comfortable for you. Okay? The next thing is anytime that you go throw the line, you want the line facing towards you. Okay? You want the line as close to the rod as you can get it. That's the position that you want it in. Okay? You want to grab it with your first finger. Now notice, I only put it halfway on that finger. I don't tuck it into the pocket. I don't get it way on top. I get about halfway onto it and I pinch it to the rod. And when I pinch it to the rod, now I can open my bail arm. Okay? Now the line's ready to release. The reason why it's on the tip of my finger is so that when it comes off, when I go to release the trigger, because that's a trigger, I don't get stuck in here. I don't slap the water with the lure or anything like that it gets hung up of any which way. It can only do one thing from there. It can come off. So that's how that's going to work. So, all right, guys, let's talk about how far up we're going to bring the lure or the cork when we go cast, okay? If we're throwing a popping cork, I don't know if you can see this, but we're going to want to be about 1.5 feet, 2 feet from the top. On a windy day, I'll get even further if I'm trying to make a big old long cast or something like that. I don't know if you can see this. The reason for this, the reason why we are going to leave the cork a little further from the top than we say we would a lure is so that we can load the rod. And when I mean load the rod, I mean just like this. How the rod bends, that's loaded, okay? When you go to cast a popping cork, one, you're going to want a more whippy rod. We use a medium action 7'6" rod, okay? Because you want to get that load on it. And the more line you leave out, the more load you can get on the rod. Okay, when you pull it tight up to the top, that's going to make you slap the water a lot with the cork. The cork's going to hit the water because you're not going to have time to get the rod loaded and get it released before it kind of wants to load down. And you release and it goes downwards. You know, it needs to be almost a delayed reaction. Now, when you're throwing a lure, you're going to want it, 4 to 6 inches from the top as such. Okay. So that's going to help you tremendously. That's one of the big tips I give my customers when they're having a hard time getting that cork up in the air, getting it to launch. I'll have them leave the cork a little bit further from the tip. Leave it a little further from the tip. Keep working away from the tip until they can get it to load and delayed reaction, slow everything down to be able to get it out there. Cork is all about momentum. A lot of times it's like a golf swing. We're going to go back, we're going to transition, and we're going to start picking up pace, and then launch it. Okay? If I'm going to bomb it, I'm not going to whip fast back and forth like I would a lure. I'm going to slowly get back, and I'm going to get back as far as I can, and I'm going to load, and get going fast, and then release and get it up in the air. Okay? So that's a big thing, and let's go from there. Now we're going to show you how to actually throw the rod, release points, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, so now we've gone over the fundamentals of the reel. we've gone over how far we're leaving this cork from the tip. We're going to leave it about 1.5 feet, 2 feet, just so you can see. Okay. Now we're going to go over the actual launching procedures of a spinning reel. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and roll that reel to where it fits our trigger finger. Okay. Grab it with half of the trigger finger. And we're going to go ahead and open up the bail arm. Okay. Once the bail arm's open, now the line's ready to be released. It's fully open. You know, at any point when I let my finger go, it's going to go ahead and launch. The way I would teach anybody to start fishing would be what we call a sidearm cast. I would not go vertical behind your head, stuff like that. You run a risk of hooking yourself in the head. It's a much more feel thing than it is sight. So you're going to be more nervous. You're going to make more mistakes due to that fact. So you're just going to go sidearm. I use 2 hands. I think you have a lot more control of a rod when you throw with 2 hands, a spinning rod. Okay, so I'll put my bottom hand on the bottom of the butt right here. And that's basically so I can use this as a flipping mechanism and almost power stability, stuff like that. My wrist, I use my wrist a lot. When it comes to popping a cork, when it comes to casting, it's a lot of wrist action, things like that. So I'm going to hold the base of the rod. I'm going to go sidearm. When I'm throwing towards that bank. When I get to where I feel like the tip of the rod is pointed towards there, I'm going to release my finger about a second before that. Okay, and this is going to come from only trial and error. You're going to have to spend some time throwing in the backyard, just throwing in the lake, just to get used to it. Nobody gets this right on the first time. All of my customers, once they get the fundamentals, then it's just a matter of just keep doing it. You're going to figure it out here soon. You're going to get the feel for it. So we're going to go backwards. We're going to get side armed. We're going to get to the side point. When I get to the release point, I'm going to let that finger go. Okay. As soon as that cork hits the water, I'm going to close that bail for 2 reasons. 1, I don't want to get a ton of extra line out and slacken the line. 2, if you close it with the reel multiple times, you will cause damage to them over time. The bail arms don't always close. You can break handles, bend handles, stuff like that. So as soon as it hits the water, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make 2 or 3 cranks with it. If I'm using a popping cork, I instantly pop the cork, pick up the slack, 1 more crank. Okay? So we'll go over that 1 more time for you. Reel this one back up real quick. Okay? When I get it about 1.5 feet, 2 feet from the top, I'm going to spin it, grab half my trigger finger on it, and open it up. Okay? Sidearm, release point out front. I'm also going to throw a little vertical. So when I come backwards, I'm going to kind of work my way up a little bit. Okay? As soon as it's the water, I'm going to close my bail, make 2 cranks, pop it once, and make 1 more crank. That's going to put me in contact with my line. I don't want to pull it as much. I just want to kind of lift the line and pick up a turn. Okay? As you learn how to throw a spinning reel, you will eventually get to the point to where it becomes a transition on a popping cork to where you're going sidearm and then you come back over the top. Okay? So you bring it up, around, and then back over the top. And it's going to, that's a little fall. Stop that one. But you'll actually get to where you come this way and then load it and go up over the top. That's going to get you up in the air and get you the best launch. But as starting, you want to just take it slow, go sideways, get it to the point, and then as you go forward, throw up a little bit. Just right from the back point, up a little bit, picking up your momentum as you go. Don't try and jerk real fast from the start. Slowly pick up your momentum, release your finger. You're loading the rod. It will recoil back out as you launch it. So you'll actually throw a lot further, not trying to throw hard. I hope you enjoyed that tip video on how to throw a spinning rod, the basics. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We appreciate the support. And any other videos y'all would like to see, put them in the comment below. Any questions in the comment below. Also, if you want to fish with us with one of our fishing charter companies, check us out on the web. Our Louisiana company is la-charters.com. And our Florida company is floridafishingco.com. Till next time, I hope this helps you catch more fish, and we'll see you on the water soon.